One thing I love most about OMAD is how incredibly flexible it can be. Whether I want to meet my husband for a lunch date, eat dinner with my family, or go to breakfast with a friend, I can accommodate whatever's important to me in my life in my OMAD schedule. OMAD can adapt to your schedule. You don't have to do it the other way around. And the beauty of it is it all balances out even when you have some shorter fasts and longer eating windows when you consistently practice OMAD. Today, I'm walking you through a hypothetical week to show you how you can move your daily eating window all while sticking to one meal a day. So let's go. First up, we're going to start with Monday. Family dinners are my most common eating window, and we're going to pretend that my eating window was open from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, that could be that I opened my eating window with pistachios or cheese while I was tasting dinner and getting it well seasoned, or maybe I opened my eating window with just dinner and had dessert afterwards. There's a lot you can do in an hour. It's a great way to spend time with your family and be consistent. It was a wonderful 1 hour OMAD. Tuesday, I hypothetically met my husband for a lunch date. This is literally one of my favorite OMADs. Meeting for lunch is such a treat in the middle of the day. I get date time and we're always at a restaurant. So I love it all. But we're going to pretend that I broke my fast at 12:30 to meet him for lunch. And that means I don't get my typical 18 hours that I aim for, but it's okay. I know it'll all wash out in the end, and we'll get more to that when we get further into the week. So I break my fast at 12:30. That's a 17 and a half hour fast from 7 p.m. the night before. And let's say our lunch date, again, takes an hour. It actually probably wouldn't take that long, but we're going to use that for this example. We sit down, we order, we eat, we enjoy the time, and I close my eating window by 1:30. So now I've had dinner with my family Monday, I had lunch date with my husband Tuesday, and yes, I didn't get as much of a fast as I normally would, but guess what? If I go from a Tuesday lunch to dinner on Wednesday, it's going to be a longer fast before that OMAD. So I don't stress so much about the 17 and a half hours, or even if it were 17 hours before my OMAD on Tuesday, because I know it's going to be made up for on Wednesday when I have to fast between Tuesday's lunch to Wednesday's dinner. So in this hypothetical scenario, because OMAD at dinner is my most common, Wednesday I go back to eating dinner with my family. When I meet my husband for lunch and then I fast longer to dinner the next day, it's the perfect time to take electrolytes. In the past, I used to deal with sore legs if I had a longer fast, but that's no longer an issue thanks to Element Electrolytes. I've been using them as a regular part of my fasting routine for over 2 years. They're delicious, they're convenient, they give you 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, and 60 milligrams magnesium. They have all the things that you need to stay hydrated, feeling good, and you actually get to enjoy taking it. So if you deal with things like sore legs, like me, headaches or nausea, if you have those longer fasts, I highly recommend you try Electrolytes, and Element is the one I grabbed. Right now, Element's offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serve packets free with any Element order. It's the perfect way to try 8 of their flavors or to share Element with a salty friend. You can get yours by going to drinkelement.com/fastingfoodie. That's drinklmnt.com/fastingfoodie. Now we got to talk more about the details of Wednesday after that longer fast. So now we are to Wednesday, day 3 of the week. Because I normally eat my 1 meal a day with dinner, you're going to see that that is most frequent in this hypothetical week, but it doesn't have to be that way. You could switch every single day if that works for you. But because I mainly eat dinner, that's what the scenario is going to show. So I fasted from 1:30 on Tuesday when my lunch day ended all the way to say 6:30 on Wednesday. That means I had a nice long 29-hour fast. You know I was excited for that dinner when I fasted 29 hours to get there. If you've never done OMAD, meals are so good when you only eat once a day. Food just tastes better. We're going to keep the math simple once again, and we're going to say I ate from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Now, that is going to be an hour and a half eating window. I definitely vary the times of my eating windows. They do not have to stay consistent. So let's say I ate dinner and that took me 25 minutes, and then an hour later I had a bowl of ice cream. That is still, in my opinion, OMAD. I have appetizer, dinner, entree if I want. No sweat. So I had an hour and a half eating window on Wednesday. So then from Wednesday at 8 p.m., we're going to fast all the way to dinner on Thursday. And again, dinner is my most frequent time that I choose to have meals because my husband's home from work, my kids are home from school. It's a great family time. It's the priority to me. Okay, so on Thursday, I broke my fast at 5. We're going to say I closed it at 6 p.m. A nice 1 hour eating window. Really enjoyed the food. Then I'm going to fast until Friday. And guess what? One of my other favorite things happened. My bestie invited me to breakfast. Breakfast is a time that her and I love to get together. Our kids may be in separate school things. It's easier for us to get together when our family's off being busy. And breakfast is a shared favorite. So her and I meet on Friday at 9 a.m. But Jackie, didn't you just eat your OMAD the night before? Yes, I did. Remember, consistently eating OMAD, even if some of your fasts are shorter, you're going to have the longer ones to make up the distance. So let's see how this plays out. I only get a 15-hour fast from Thursday's dinner to 9 a.m. on Friday. And let's say that we are leisurely picking and we enjoy a latte at the end of the meal, and that lasts me until 10:30 a.m. It's a nice hour and a half eating window. I sit with my bestie. I not only have the joy of the food, but I have the joy of the company and the joy of being able to do the important things for me without the burden of dieting on my shoulders. So I have moved my eating window to breakfast joyfully and have no regrets. I never have regrets when I meet for breakfast. So what happens when I stop eating at 10:30 on Friday? It's simple. I fast. I spend so much of my time fasting that it really isn't a big deal if I end up having a longer fast a few times in my week. I am good at fasting. I have built that fasting muscle. And if you make this your lifestyle, you will too. Fasting is my norm. So when I have longer fasts, I'm not convincing myself I have to do it. I'm not white knuckling it. I know the delicious eating window is going to come on Saturday. It's just going to be a longer fast between breakfast on Friday and dinner on Saturday. So how long was it? Let's see. Now we're to Saturday, and we're going to say I had a 29.5-hour fast. I stopped eating at 10:30 Friday morning with my bestie, and then I'm going to break my fast at 4 p.m. on Saturday. It's a nice long fast. That's going to average out with the shorter fast between Thursday and Friday, remember? And then, because it's Saturday, maybe I have a social life. Maybe I have something going on, and I want a longer than normal eating window. Say we went to Costco, and I want to have all the samples before we get home and have dinner. Or say we're at a friend's house, and we're watching a sports event, and they have snacks out. If I want to, I can participate in those before I have my substantial meal, and I can just have a longer eating window if I choose to do it that way. Can I do it every day? No, personally, I can't. Can I do it when it's important and opportune? Absolutely. And I love that flexibility. So in this scenario, we're going to pretend that my eating window opened at 4 and it's going to close at 7 p.m. A nice 3-hour eating window where I socialized. We watched the sports event. I had the chips, the dips, the hot wings, the celery, the blue cheese. I enjoyed it all. Again, this is hypothetical, but that's sounding pretty good to me. I had a nice 3-hour eating window. This can be a nice 4-hour eating window. It can be a nice 5-hour eating window. You can do what's important to you. Fast before, fast after. That's the consistency you need. And then we're going to get to the final day of the week, Sunday. Quite typically for me, I have a Sunday night OMAD. I really like Sunday nights. It's usually more of a cozy time in our house because we're getting ready for the kids to go back to school, my husband to go back to work. We are trying to wind down from the fun weekend, whatever fun we had, and we tend to have a great family dinner. So Sunday is typically an OMAD for me. So I'm going to say that I fasted from 7 p.m. Saturday, the day before, all the way until 6 p.m. A nice 23-hour fast. And guess what? Whether we're having roast with mashed potatoes and homemade bread or carry out pizza with salad, I'm going to enjoy that OMAD. It's important to me to spend most of my meals with my family, and that's exactly what I do on a regular basis. So we're going to summarize the week right here, and you can see I had a variety of fasting lengths. My eating windows were consistently pretty short, between an hour to 3 hours, and I really find that when I give the discipline to fasting, even if I move my eating windows, that consistency really pays off, and in the end, I find so many benefits. As you can see, OMAD doesn't have to be rigid. Fasts can vary. Sometimes they're shorter, like between dinner and breakfast, and sometimes they're longer, like after breakfast to the next OMAD at dinner, but it all averages out, making this lifestyle flexible, freeing, and completely manageable. What if you've already ate your eating window for the day and something last minute pops up that you don't want to miss? This might surprise you. You don't have to do OMAD that day. Have a longer eating window. Ask yourself, how often do last minute, super important, can't miss events happen? For me personally, almost never. If the occasion arises and I really want to participate, I will do it. If I met my friend for breakfast and then I suddenly had this opportunity to go do something that I've always wanted to do or hang out with people I haven't seen in forever and I had no way to plan for it, I wouldn't miss out just because I had some rigid OMAD schedule. Again, what you do on a regular basis is so much more important than the one-off special occasions, last-minute pop-ups, can't say no events. OMAD gives you the freedom to fully live your life, all while reaping the benefits of fasting. And that's why it's so joyful for me. Joyful fasting, joyful life. No decision fatigue. If in the past you've heard that OMAD has to be a single plate or a single hour or super legalistic and you want my take on it, you should watch this video right here. I really like low stress and I talk about how I approach OMAD joyfully right here. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao, down and ciao.